you like NASCAR? Do you like a tribe called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Hey, buddy, if your car making a sound like this, you might want to get you some power steering fluid and check out the Urban Conservative podcast.
Are you repulsed by the idea of drag queen story time at your local library, but enjoy Carol Baskin TikTok memes? Then you would enjoy the Urban Conservative.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. This season of the Urban Conservative podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Top of the morning to you. This is Abdul Ali. You're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. Welcome to Top of the Morning. You're checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, check out the show on Millennium News 24. You can do that by grabbing the Millennium News 24 app. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're also available. So if you're on a platform that you listen to stuff and we're not on there, let us know. Really appreciate you all joining us. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I got to give a big shout out to the Concord Cabarrus Martin Luther King Day Celebration Committee. They had an amazing event yesterday. Got to give a big up to County Commissioner Steve Morris and Kenny Wertman for dropping in, as well as School Board member Laura Blackwell. And we had some of our executive committee members, Kat Bonsmore, Greg Mills, and good showing there in Concord at the MLK event. So if you're taking today off because it is MLK Day, good on you. As you can see, we here at the Urban Conservative, we ain't taking no days off. We don't get no days off around here because we got to bring you the content. People love the content, so we got to get you the content, folks. Morning mugshot, folks. So this is where we are, all right? This is where we are this morning, folks. There you go. Exclusive Frederick Douglass Foundation mug. You could go over to frederickdouglassfdfnc.org. Get yourself one of these handy dandy Frederick Douglass Foundation mugs. And we're back on coffee. Okay, we were on tea and then hot chocolate last week. We're back on coffee. So, all right, guys, we're going to jump right into this. How do I explain this? I think people are giving George Santos a bunch of heck because of some lies that he's told, some mistruths. And somehow, for some reason, we seem to want to continuously give Biden a pass. At least the left-leaning media wants to give Biden a pass. We know he was not top of his class in law school. He was somewhere near the bottom of his class in law school. We know he was never a coal miner, a hard coal miner, anthracite coal, as he said. We know he never did that. We know he never went to jail to go visit Nelson Mandela. We know that. We know he didn't do any of that. But check this out. It gets better. So in honor of MLK weekend, Joseph R., and remember the R stands for really don't know where he's at. Good old Joseph R. took a trip to Ebenezer Baptist Church, which is the church of Martin Luther King. And how do I put this? He stood in the pulpit of the church and told a bold-faced, I was surprised lightning didn't strike him down right then and there, just because of the insanity that is what you all are about to hear. This dude, just listen to this. And I've got it slowed down. Don't worry, he already talks slow, but I slowed this down because I want y'all to hear this. Here you go.
Let's lay one thing to rest. I may be a practicing Catholic. I used to go to 7:30 Mass every morning in high school and then in college before I went to the black church.
Look at the people in the background, y'all. They don't even know. They could care less what he is talking about. Look at that lady face right there. She's like, what is he talking about? Look at her. She's like, what is he talking about? I don't understand it.
Not a joke. Andy knows this. And let's lay one thing to rest. I may be a practicing Catholic. I used to go to 7:30 Mass every morning in high school and then in college before I went to the black church.
All right, so here's the interesting thing about this whole situation. Nobody remembers Biden going to the black church, okay? These remarks he was giving to celebrate the birthday of MLK. He repeated the questionable claim that he frequented a black church during the civil rights movement. And listen, nobody at the church remembers him going, okay? Nobody remembers the man being there, okay? It's just like this whole thing with him going to jail, visiting Nelson Mandela. It's absolutely ridiculous, okay? And at some point, he doesn't even remember that, but that's why he doesn't remember them documents. And y'all stay tuned tonight on the Urban Conservative. We're going to talk more about that 8 o'clock live tonight. So here you have the president of the United States who can barely remember where he is. Even if I speed that up to regular speed, the man sounds slurred. He sounds not all there. And I was talking to somebody over the weekend, and they said, it appears that he has onset, early stages of dementia. And this is what y'all voted for. Nobody on the left is going to tell me this is true. Listen, one more time. We're gonna let it rock for you.
One thing to rest. I may be a practicing Catholic. I used to go to 7:30 Mass every morning in high school and then in college before I went to the black church. Not a joke. Andy knows this. And let's say
nobody believes you, bro. Nobody in that audience believes you. Nobody, bro. You did not go to the black church. You might have walked by a black church. You might have happened to knew some people that went to a black church, but he's made these claims before. He's made the claim to be, his house burned with his wife in it. During his 2020 campaign, Biden frequently mentioned how he would help organize anti-segregation protests at Union Baptist Church, a prominent church led by the late Reverend Otis Herring in Wilmington. And this was the claim he said, when I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement at Bethlehem Baptist Church in South Carolina. I'd go to 8 o'clock Mass, and I'd go to Reverend Herring's church where we'd meet in order to organize and figure out where we were going to go, whether we were going to desegregate the Rialto movie theater or what we were going to do. While Richard Smith, the former director of the Delaware NAACP, defended Biden in the 2019 op-ed, we know Joe is the ally who was there beside us to protest the theater's discriminatory policy, moviegoers based on race. His claim about attending Herring's church was disputed, okay? Then he lied about the Amtrak story for the 5th time, okay? He didn't go to that church. So folks, what you got here is a president who has dementia. This dude is like early stage Alzheimer's. He don't know where, when, or what he is doing at this point because he's repeating these lies. And then the sad part is all of these people in the background, all of these people in the church are complicit in this foolishness. And that's a great question. Shouts out to Allison Powers. That's a great question. How can you be a practicing Catholic? Didn't somebody deny him entry to the church or say he can't take communion or something like that because of his views on abortion, him and Pelosi? I mean, and how are you a practicing Christian of any sort and you're in favor of late-stage abortion. I don't understand that. How are you a practicing Christian of any kind when you're in favor of the policies that the left is proposing and the radical leftist Democrat socialists are proposing? So shame on you, Joe Biden. You're just an idiot, okay? And check this out. Former President Joe Biden, Vice President Biden, was denied communion Sunday at a Catholic church in South Carolina over his support for abortion rights. Father Robert Morey, the pastor at St. Anthony Catholic Church in Florence, had mentioned this to the Florence Morning News, and this was back in 2019. So you couldn't even get communion, bruh. Joseph R., the R stands for rarely knows what he's talking about, right? Really doesn't know where he's at. Ladies and gentlemen, you're checking out Top of the Morning. We're going to be right back after a very quick commercial break with our next story. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. You're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. If you appreciate what we do on the platform, go ahead and send us some love by getting that Hamilton plan over at tuconservative.com. It's good for a year. You'll get the blog, you'll get the news feed, and you'll get the special heads up when we're going to do events in a neighborhood near you. So again, that is tuconservative.com. Also, as you see on your screen, if you want to throw us some love on the Cash App, that is $TU Conservative. Make sure you jump on over to our YouTube channel, TUC Twins. Give us a follow there, and also hit that notification button so you know every time we go live. Again, mug shot of the morning. If you want a handy dandy Frederick Douglass Foundation mug, go ahead and support the foundation by visiting fdfnc.org. Now, second story of the day is going to be very interesting, folks. Before I mention this, one of the things that we do here, and sometimes you guys get to come along with us on the journey that is learning, okay? Sometimes we don't know everything. A lot of times we don't know everything, especially about people in the media, in the news, public figures, politicians. We learned a whole lot about Kevin McCarthy last week during the whole speaker, a week and a half ago during the speaker vote. We learned how he was an independent small business owner and understood what it's like to grow a small business. People tend to throw folks under the bus when they say, oh, you're successful. And Walter Williams said it the best. He said, the wonderful thing about America is while you may know how someone ends up, that is, you may know they end up successful, you can never really be quite sure of how they started. And that is the beautiful thing about this country. And one of the things that I'm learning this morning is all about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, as you all know, President Trump has announced that he is seeking the Republican nomination for the presidency in 2024, but he has yet to announce a running mate, and there's a couple of names on that short list. One of the names that happen to be on that short list is our good friend here, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, the interesting thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene is I didn't know a whole lot about the lady, but it turns out she has a lifetime of business experience growing up working in her family's company. Back in 2002, she purchased Taylor Commercial, a commercial construction and renovation company, and the company has since managed about $250 million of construction projects. Now, what that tells me, as a female in the construction business, is she is no joke. She started, grew, and sold a thriving CrossFit gym in Georgia and has become one of the top CrossFit gyms in the country. And I guess that gives her a unique perspective on how to succeed from the ground up through true hard work and financial responsibility. Now, on the education front, she graduated from the University of Georgia, got a bachelor's in business administration. She's been involved in her community and her children's school and active on a national level as the national director of Family America Project. She is a Christian. 3 children, Lauren, Taylor, and Derek, and believes the best part of her life is being a mother and spending time with her family. She represents a portion of Georgia, for those that don't know. And when you look at her sponsored legislation, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because she is potentially going to be Trump's running mate. Now, there's a short list of people, as we said, that's looking to be Donald Trump's running mate. And as Vanity Fair is reporting, he's sifting through the list of binders of MAGA women to find the next running mate. So rather than choose a safe, conventional option, he appears to be running with a loyalist. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Elise Stefanik have been thrown into that mix. But let me tell you something. at the end of the day, I think that's a powerhouse right there. You put Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene together, woo! Now, that to me would be the leftist nightmare, right? Donald Trump at it again. I don't see anybody really coming out of the woodwork on the Republican side that'll get the nomination over Trump. I think what the media is trying to do is give the American public Trump fatigue, okay? And this didn't help. This Biden document thing is definitely not helping in the way of slowing down Trump's momentum. Now, Paul Ryan came out and said some stupid things and said, oh, Trump is what did he say? He's a habitual loser or something along those lines. But you got to remember, for every loss that Trump had during the 2022 general election, during the midterms, he had like 5-10 wins for every loss. So it's like y'all are saying, look, he cost us Trump cost us the Senate seat in Georgia. Look, guys, you can't lay everything at the feet of Donald Trump here. And I like Herschel Walker. I do. We supported Herschel Walker here on the Urban Conservative. But let me tell you something. Trump did not cost us that seat. Herschel Walker cost us that seat. And this is the saying. Former House Speaker Ryan says Donald Trump is a proven loser and fading fast. And he said that on CNN. Okay? On CNN, of all places. So Paul Ryan, right, is out here backstabbing Republicans, backstabbing Trumps, saying that Trump is fading fast. But I think putting somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene on as his vice president, a strong, conservative, Christian female who calls it like she sees it, yeah, folks, I think that might be a good move. I don't know that Donald Trump sees this. I don't know that he's going to see this, right? But I do know that if he does see it, I would be in favor of a Marjorie Taylor Greene. If nothing else, if Marjorie Taylor Greene has to debate, whoever she debates, woo, that's going to be fun. Y'all got to tell me, would y'all like to see, get in the comment section, let us know, who would you like to see Trump running with as a VP? Would it be Marjorie Taylor Greene? Would it be Elise Stefanik? Let me know who you think it is. We'd love to hear from you. We may even start a poll there on the page. But here's the other thing about this, the final thing I'm going to say on this. The idea somehow that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a conspiracy theorist, Trump is a conspiracy theorist, there's somehow, some way, these are like, far, far to the right, right? It is too much, it's too much for the media, okay? It's too much for the media to handle two strong conservatives like that, okay? It's too much for them. So we've got to take a look at this again. Y'all get in the comments. Let us know. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Elise Stefanik. Could you see him picking Ron DeSantis as a running mate? Who do you think Trump is going to grab as a running mate? The story right now is Marjorie Taylor Greene is in the forefront of that. So we are going to take a very quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. We're going to be right back in just a few moments with our last story of the day. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. All right, folks, welcome back to Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. We appreciate you being here. My name is Abdul Ali, and again, thanks for joining us. Very interesting. So, y'all know we've been critical of Gavin Newsom. We've been critical of California. We wished, for the love of God, we wished that Larry Elder would have become the governor of California. That would have been an amazing, amazing thing for us to have Larry Elder as California's governor. But this new law that got passed, that went into effect in California is absolutely ridiculous. We talked about this a little bit the other day. And before we head out of here today and talk about MLK and is the dream still alive? This idea that you will have illegal immigrants, okay? Illegal immigrants policing legal citizens. So this new law that goes into effect in 2023 changed the qualifications to become a police officer in California. Now, the San Diego, this is from the state senator lady who introduced the bill. The San Diego Police Department has lost over 500 officers since July of 2020. That's drastic. We need everyone we can to be able to be a police officer. However, we are not in favor of reducing the requirements and lowering the standards, said Sergeant Jared Wilson, speaking as president and on behalf of the San Diego Police Officers Association. They do have concerns about the new law that changed the qualifications. Prior to January 1st, you had to be a United States citizen or a permanent resident to qualify for that job. That is no longer the case. Anyone who is legally authorized to work in the United States, to work in the state of California with the proper green card or visa is eligible to become a police officer. Now, what this does, because this law is what they're saying, is that there are what California determines as a legal standard, and then there's what the federal government determines as a legal standard. And we all know, because we're all on the conservative side of things, that California is a sanctuary state. Y'all are all about giving some illegals some benefits. Y'all are all about getting them over there. Y'all are all about giving them the right to vote because you realize your grip on Hispanic and Black communities is dropping. You know, you're losing your grip. Y'all are looking for every single way you can to perpetuate yourselves in power. And this here is going to be absolutely tragic. And I'm telling you, the first time an illegal alien or somebody in the country illegally does something negative to a citizen, I have a feeling things are going to erupt in a major way. Now, the fact of the matter is this: there are tens and tens of thousands of people who come to this country every year that raise their right hand and take the oath to become a citizen, and they do it the right way. This is how you should do it. You should go through the system, assimilate, become a part of American society, learn the language. Okay. At what point, and this is always weird to me out. It's like, imagine me trying to go get citizenship in like Turkmenistan or Azerbaijan or someplace. I don't speak the language. I don't know the culture. Why would I want to be a citizen there unless there was something in it for me? Now, I get this idea of America being an open country, being an open nation, and being willing to bring people in from other countries. That's absolutely the fact of the matter is we're willing to bring people in from other places. But this idea that you're just going to skip over the border, get a job, and do something, now that's not going to work, especially considering what's happening in California with the crime out of control, the fentanyl coming across the southern border. And we're not going to pretend that we don't know where this fentanyl is coming from. We're not going to pretend like we don't. We got a comment here. Yeah, I know, Allison, that's absolutely crazy. But I mean, y'all do the research. Y'all take a look. You know, these are a valid point. What if they're owned by the cartels? You know, that car gets a pass with 20,000 tons of fentanyl in it. You know, we're not going to pull over certain people. You know, there are so many problems with this law in California that it is a terrible idea. Senator Skinner said it was the University of California Police Department that first reached out and pushed for the change. During a time when police departments across the state are struggling to fill positions, UC Davis Police Chief Joe Farrow testified at an Assembly Public Safety Committee hearing in June of 2002 that they see a lot of stellar candidates in their programs who ultimately they can't hire because they ain't legal, because you ain't in the country legal. All right? Senate Bill 960 passed, changing things for people like UC Davis graduate and DACA recipient Ernesto Maron, who attended the UC Police Academy and passed the background check, but wasn't eligible to be hired as an officer. The bill, this is him speaking, will allow me and countless others the opportunity to fulfill my dream and to serve the community where I was raised. How about we make him a citizen first? How about we have some American citizens, okay? How about we get rid of the good old boy system where the chief's cousin, whose nephew, friend can do that? Okay. How about we change the system? Okay, and here's the bill right here: an act to amend Section 1031 of and repeal, go back down and repeal Section 103.5 of the Government Code to repeal that. This is ridiculous. You know, this idea that we're just going to let people who are not in the country, okay? Existing law establishes the commission of a peace officer, standards and training within the department, blah, 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 blah. Existing law requires peace officers in this state to meet specified minimum standards, including, among other requirements, being at least 18 years of age, being of good moral character as determined through a background investigation, and being either a citizen of the United States or a permanent resident who is eligible for and has applied for citizenship except as prescribed. This bill would provide that those standards shall be interpreted and applied consistent with the federal law and regulations as specified. This bill would remove the provision that requires peace officers to either be a citizen of the United States or a permanent resident who is eligible for. There you go. You're done. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This bill would remove the provision that requires peace officers to either be a citizen of the United States or be a permanent resident who is eligible for and has applied for citizenship, and would instead require peace officers to be legally authorized to work in the United States and make conforming changes. Come on, folks. This is not a good idea, okay? Under the existing law, the minimum education requirement for peace officers is a high school graduation from a public school or other accredited high school, passing an equivalency test or high school proficiency exam, or attaining a 2-year, 4-year advanced degree from an accredited institution. Existing law requires accreditation be from a state or local government agency, a regional accrediting association, an accrediting association recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, or an organization holding full membership in specified organizations, including advanced ed. This bill would revise the accreditation standards to include an organization holding full membership in Cognia. This is nuts, folks. This is absolutely psychotic, what they are attempting to do in California. I hope and pray that Republicans in California fight this tooth and nail. It's already passed the Senate bill, so it's law already. But you got to just think about what this means for our country, folks. Just think about what this means for the United States. We're going to take a real quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk about MLK before we cut out. You're watching Top of the Morning. We'll be right back.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning, folks. Abdul Ali here. Thank you so much for being with us. It's MLK Day, so I think it's an interesting thing in 2023, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, how divided our country is along political lines. We here believe that the dream of Martin Luther King, you know, that vision of people being judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin, is alive and well. And I think a lot of us still believe that in this country. You know, it is a very telling thing that in 2023, we have people who still want to divide us according to race, who want to divide us according to gender, who want to divide us according to sexual preference, who want to divide us according to religion. And that is not what Martin Luther King Jr. stood for. He stood for us acting together, working together, and being together, and to be in unity. So do we think the dream of Martin Luther King is alive? We absolutely do think that dream is alive here. We actually support that. We'll continue to fight to make sure things are equal, that the playing field is level for everybody. We hope that you enjoy your Martin Luther King Day. Just don't use this as a day to go watch football or to play basketball or to lay up. Be of service to somebody today if you can. Help your neighbor out. Help a friend out if you see somebody in need today. And just remember, we're all Americans at the end of the day. We shouldn't get lost in the fact that we're Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives. We're all Americans. And if we don't paddle together and row together, we'll certainly sink together. So happy MLK Day. I hope you all enjoy it. Thanks for checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet, Top of the Morning. We'll see you guys tonight at 8 for the Urban Conservative, and tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for Top of the Morning with Abdul Ali. For my twin brother Raheem, Architect Soto, for all of our partners and underwriters, enjoy your MLK Day. We'll see you tonight at 8. Peace.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
Can't hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Blah.
What's up, everybody? Top of the morning to you. You are checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. Top of the morning. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. Yo, shouts out to OGI Trilla out of South Carolina for that joint, Everything in Mo. Love that song, man. We got to actually rise some point, play the video, man. People got to see how dope that video is. Again, shouts out to PAT, OGI Trilla, everybody down there in South Carolina. Big up to you for being part of the #1 fastest growing, dopest, of course, morning show on the planet, Top of the Morning. You're checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Also, go over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. That way, you know when we go live and all that good stuff. Morning mugshot time. Frederick Douglass Foundation mug. Shouts out to the Frederick Douglass Foundation of North Carolina. Big up to President Clarence Henderson, Vice President of the Frederick Douglass Foundation, Dr. Pearl Burris Floyd, Shamika Bethia, the whole team, Tansy, and everybody. What up? Good morning, y'all. So normally on this morning show, we start out a little more upbeat. We try to do like something uplifting. But I got to tell y'all something. When I was looking for stories to cover for you this morning, I get up at the cracker early to do this for y'all. I saw something that disturbed me. Now, I want to share this with you all because we hear from the left how much Black Lives Matter. We all know it was Black Lives Matter and Antifa burning cities down responsible for perpetuating something way worse than January 6th, and that is this invidious mindset that America of 2023, 2022, 2020 was the America of 1902. This guy right here, I'm going to show y'all this picture, man, because this is heartbreaking. This is actually heartbreaking. This brother right here didn't hurt nobody. He didn't deserve what he got. He shouldn't have been killed. Okay? Should not have been killed. This brother right here, I don't agree with the mask thing. I never agreed with the mask thing, but he should not have died for doing his job as a security guard and telling people to wear a mask at the store. These three right here are the ones that are sentenced to life in the slaying of this Michigan security guard. It's a married couple and their son. They were convicted last year, first-degree premeditated murder in the fatal shooting of the security guard who asked the woman's daughter to wear a mask while shopping at the Family Dollar. Okay? It doesn't make any sense, but Larry Teague, you see in that picture, his wife Charmel Teague and Charmel Teague's son Raymond Bishop were sentenced by Genesee Circuit Court Judge Bryant Pickell in the shooting death of Calvin Munnerlin on May 1st of 2020. I thought Black lives are supposed to matter. I thought Black lives were supposed to count for something. I thought that people in these communities, because these are not the type of folks, let's look at this again. These are the type of folks, okay? This guy didn't hurt nobody. He was doing his job at a Family Dollar, minding his business, asked a lady to wear a mag, and these idiots think it's a good idea to go back and shoot him up. So not one life, his destroyed, his family's destroyed. These three now have to spend the rest of their natural-born lives in jail, as they should. They should never get out. There shouldn't be any bail. The three were convicted of first-degree premeditated murder. That crime carries a mandatory punishment of life in prison without parole. The trial lasted several weeks. Munnerlin was 43 years old, a year younger than me. A year younger than me. Was shot at a store just north of downtown Flint, Michigan, shortly after telling Charmel Teague's daughter she had to leave because she didn't have a face mask. Two men that you saw on your screen later came to the store, shot him to death. Bishop's sister, Bria Bishop, was also charged with tampering with evidence, lying to police, being an accessory to a felony. She was sentenced in November to time served and probation. Okay? This young man didn't do nothing to anybody. He didn't deserve that. Not for telling somebody to wear a mask at work. And this is the ludicrous nature of these three people right here. That doesn't make a shred of sense, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad they got life without parole. They should be under the jail. This is an absolute case of what we talk about. And I in the Black community, we keep having these conversations about the white man going after us. I just had to sit through the whole MLK weekend of people side swipe saying kind of in a slick way it's Republicans and white people's fault that some Black folk can't get ahead. But meanwhile, they don't say nothing about three idiots like this. Y'all want to keep screaming about the criminal justice and what are we doing to help the criminal? And it's all about the criminal. And what do we do to help the poor criminal? What about the victims? Okay, what about the victims of stuff like this? We need to be talking more about how do we have restorative justice for the victims of these crimes and their family? Because these three are going to be locked away forever. And I hear what people say about how hard prison is. Oh, you don't want to go to prison, how hard it is in prison. Listen, you about to get 3 hots, a cot, probably a library, cable TV, music when you want to listen to it. Let's not lie. There's drugs all through. You're going to get all the weed you want. You're going to get all the tobacco you want. You're going to have a fairly decent existence in a prison system. This ain't like a third world country where you got to grow your own food and it's backbreaking labor. You're about to go have a cushy existence on the taxpayer dime after you murdered someone. And that's the best we can do in this country. This is absolutely disgusting. Again, these three convicted of killing a 43-year-old security guard because he asked that lady's daughter to wear a mask. absolutely atrocious. And any of you Democrats, any of you leftists out there talking about this is unfair and blah, 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 go tell that to that man's family. We're going to take a quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
Can't hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Blood.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. Again, shouts out to OGI Trilla for that song, Everything and More. I like that. I like that. Your failures teach you everything and more. I love it. We got to play that video here for y'all. It's a beautiful video. Shouts out to PAT. Shouts out to OGI Trilla. We appreciate you letting us rock that joint here on Top of the Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you're doing well so far. If this is your first time watching, jump in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from so we can get you a shout out. If you haven't done so already, jump on over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. That way we can keep doing what we do here and spreading conservatism into urban areas across the country. Y'all ain't gonna believe this one. You might believe it. You should believe it. It's believable. All right. This is very believable. More shenanigans from the Biden administration. Now, check this out. None of us, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're straight, I don't care if you're uber conservative, I don't care if you're liberal, none of us should agree that sexualizing children is okay. None of us. All right. The minute you enter into the equation that a child is either a lesbian, gay, or bisexual, because that's what the L, the G, and the B stand for. Once you enter any of those three things, I'm going to take this down for a second because I want y'all to see my face when I say this. Once you enter in that a child is either lesbian, gay, or bisexual, you just entered sex into the equation. You just sexualized a child. I'm not talking about an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old. No, I'm talking about elementary, middle school kids. The minute you enter that there is a such thing as a lesbian, gay, or bisexual child, you have sexualized that baby, and that is wrong. That ain't controversial. It shouldn't be controversial. It's dead wrong. So more shenanigans from the Biden administration. We would set the tone that we don't think children should be sexualized, but the Biden administration feels a little bit different. Biden administration opened civil rights investigation into school bans on these groomer books. Now, this is a report coming from Breitbart. The Biden administration has opened an investigation into a Texas school district for banning sexually explicit books that promote gender theory. The Department of Education Office for Civil Rights is seeking legal precedent, saying the failure to represent LGBTQ characters in school content can constitute discrimination. School districts across the country have been forced by parents to remove books deemed sexually explicit or racially divisive in the wake of public schools being exposed as left-wing indoctrination mills, which unfortunately, and no disrespect to the teachers, a lot of times it is. Many of the books describe in detail and glorify the completion of sexual acts between minors and even pedophilic interactions. The Granbury Independent School District in Texas is at the center of this probe, which will be based on an American Civil Liberties Union complaint from the summer. In 2022, the district removed 130 books from the library shelves, and about 75% of which were deemed to be too sexual to have LGBTQ characters. Okay. The ACLU promptly filed a complaint. Of course they did. The ACLU is arguing that such a removal constitutes a Title IV violation, Title IX violation, which was recently reinterpreted by the Biden administration to include sexual orientation and gender identity in the definition of sex discrimination. If this succeeds, it'll have national implications and potentially require school libraries to stock the often pornographic books and force school districts to provide avenues for children to access such material. Now, this POS attorney, Chloe Kemp, said, this is the ACLU attorney, the book removals and also the comments create this pervasively hostile environment. Both send a message to the entire community that LGBTQ identities are inherently obscene, worthy of stigmatization, and the book removals uniquely deprive LGBTQ students of the opportunity to read books that reflect their own experience. Let me stop y'all right there. Let me stop y'all. We gonna stop right there. That's the problem in this country. Nobody's told an idiot lawyer like that she must not have children. She must not have kids, because that is despicable. What sexual experience should children be having? I'll wait. What? Tell me. I'm not, we're not so stupid. We're not so in the woods. We're not so foggy. We're not such a prude. I was a 15, 16-year-old boy once. I was a 17, 18-year-old kid once. We're not talking about that. We're talking about middle and elementary school kids. How dare you say there is a such thing, okay, as a lesbian, gay, or bisexual child? It's absolutely disgusting. And here you have children can barely read. They can barely read. They can barely do math. 80-something% of minority students in certain districts here in North Carolina can't read at grade level. But you're worried about their daggone feelings. You're worried about whether or not these kids are sexually active and represented, but they can't read. Sounds to me like somebody wants to create a generation of dummies, a generation of children who feel instead of think. Ain't nothing wrong with feeling, but you have to temper that feeling with thought and logic. And it's not logical for these people to pursue allowing children to have access to sexual explicit material in the classroom. It's absolutely 1,000,000% totally ridiculous. Got to be kidding me. We're going to take a quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. Don't go nowhere. We got a couple of more things to cover. We'll be right back.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
I just got informed by the production staff that I took that last commercial break a little early. My bad. My fault. I don't want to piss off the production staff. So, folks, you're checking out Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. We appreciate you being here with us at the Urban Conservative. If you haven't done so already, please jump on over to tuconservative@gmail.com. Send us an email there if you want to sponsor an episode, you want to become an underwriter, you want to get a subject, tuconservative@gmail.com. Send us an email. Jump on over to tuconservative.com to get a membership, support the platform. $ tuconservative if you want to show us some love on Cash App. We take those too, and we definitely give you shouts out for that. Now, why, oh, why? Georgie Porgy, man. This dude just cannot get a break. Oh, he can't get a break, y'all. This dude just can't get a break. You lied about your name. You lied about where you went to school. You lied about getting your ex-boyfriend some plane tickets. You lied about where you worked. You lied about your knee replacement. Yeah, I think this whole dude's MO is just to continuously to be a liar. But this doesn't get any better. It just can't get any better. Reports are coming out that George Santos allegedly took $3,000 from GoFundMe for disabled veterans' dying service dog. This incident claimed to have happened in 2016, according to a new report from Patch, when Santo ran his charity, Friends of Pets United. Disabled veteran Richard Ostoff, who was honorably discharged from the Navy in 2002, said that when he met Santos, who then went by the name Anthony DeVolder, when a veterinarian recommended his charity to help service dog receive medical treatment after being diagnosed with a life-threatening stomach tumor. I'm going to stop right there. I know people love their pets, but I can only imagine what amount of money it's going to cost. So Ostoff connected with Santos, set up a GoFundMe page, raised the necessary $3,000 for the dog's surgery, and according to Ostoff, he never saw the money, and Santos repeatedly strung him along. Per the report, Ostoff's excitement changed to confusion when instead of scheduling the procedure, Santos told him that Ostoff couldn't use the New Jersey practice and insisted he bring Sapphire to a veterinarian in Queens. In August, the vet tech drove Ostoff and Sapphire to that practice in Queens. Santos told him he had credit with the practice from regularly using it. It was a little tiny hole in the wall, but it looked legitimate. The vet there said they wouldn't operate on the tumor, adding that he was confused because the New Jersey vet didn't express any similar concerns. Shortly thereafter, Santos became elusive and difficult to contact. Later, when the two finally talked on the phone, Santos told Ostoff the funds would then be used to service other dogs in the charity because Ostoff did not do things Santos had allegedly ordered. This dude will lie about anything. Sheesh, bro. You've got to be kidding me. You're going to take a sick dog, $3,000, this vet, and I know how it goes with some of these vets, bro. The dog is the man's best friend. It's a pretty sad state of affairs, folks. I hope this dude decides at some point to step down. I really do. I don't think this is a right. I don't think he should be up there. I know the people in Long Island are calling for him to step down. I'm a Republican, but I don't think this guy represents what the Republican Party is about. The morals, the values, the principles of honesty, integrity, and forthrightness that are enshrined in our platform are not what this dude represents. In the meantime, Rob, go ahead and pull up the video of the McCarthy said he will be seated. Okay. So he's going to be seated. The guy's going to get seated on a committee, I'm finding out. Not a good look, folks. Not good for the brand. I'm just telling you. I'm not towing the line on this one. This guy is not good for the brand. He's not good for the people that he represents. We have one of the story in the last 10 minutes of the show that I want to cover. I know we are judgmental. We wholeheartedly 1,000,000% disagree with everything that Black Lives Matter stands for. We disagree with their foundational principles. We disagree with their methodology of how they arrived to this position that America is somehow as racist in 2023 as it was back in the 40s, 30s, 20s, whatever. I disagree with the fact that they took advantage of millions of black people in this country and purported to represent or want to represent the values that they have, but they don't. They're self-professed Marxist and trained Marxist and socialist and all that kind of thing. But recently, a cousin of the Black Lives Matter founder, Patrisse Cullors, was tased by the police and passed away, succumbed as a result of this interaction. And I'm saying loosely, succumbed as a result of this interaction with the police. But upon examination of the video, Ralph, we can find that video. I don't want to show them tasing them. I just want to show y'all this piece. The first thing you got to realize, if you're not a police officer, you shouldn't be making after the fact judgment calls about what should have happened, shouldn't have happened. Hindsight is always 2020, right? It's always 2020. You always can look back and say coulda, woulda, shoulda, okay? You can always look back and go coulda, woulda, shoulda. But this dude was clearly on something, okay? Clearly this guy was on something. Let's take a look at this. Let's
for me. Stop it. The cousin of Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors dies after repeatedly being tased by California police officers.
I like how they start the video there.
It happened on January 3rd in Los Angeles. Officers responded to a crash where they found a man running in the street with, quote, erratic behavior.
Nothing but erratic. Look at this guy. He dang near runs into the bike.
Body camera video shows
All right, pause that. So here's what you got. He directs the police over to the scene of the accident. The people at the accident say he's the guy that caused the accident. It's him. Watch. Go ahead. Go ahead.
31-year-old Keenan Darnell Anderson running through traffic. When an officer catches up with him, Anderson sits on the side of the road.
Get off to the side here. Get on the street.
Somebody's trying to kill me, sir. You get over to the side of the street. Now, you can watch the whole video on your own. Okay? Those police officers and the young turds, that network over there, the young turds, the young Turks, I call them the young turds. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Where are you at?
Look at this. We might run a few minutes longer because we got to talk about this. This is ridiculous.
Driver?
He's the driver.
Get off to the side here.
All right.
Get on the street.
Hold on. Did you see him put his hands behind his back?
Get up against the wall.
Did you see that?
Hey, stop right there. Get up against the wall. Get up against the wall. Get up against the wall.
Third time he didn't listen. Third time, fourth time.
Hold on a second.
Please, sir, I didn't mean to, sir, please.
Hold on, please. Okay?
I'm sorry.
156, show me code 6 on a TC not involved.
Please.
We're going to be Venice, west of Lincoln.
Oh my God.
Possible DUI driver. You get additional units, please.
So far, it seems right over the plate.
Car.
Okay, what happened?
I lost my key.
You lost your key?
Yes. I came and I had somebody fix my car for me, sir. Please,
okay,
sir.
Do me a favor, sit in here. Hey,
sir,
sit down on your butt and sit with your legs crossed. Sit with your legs crossed. Sit with your legs crossed.
They're gonna try to kill me, please.
Who's trying to kill you?
I had a stunt today.
What?
I had a stunt today, sir.
You had what?
A stunt. Like, no, that's a car.
Okay, what car were you driving?
BMW.
The BMW.
They're trying to put stuff in my car.
Who's trying to put stuff in your car?
They're gonna try to.
Approximately 7 minutes later, this happens. Let's see this. Here you go.
Please.
Stay down for me. Hey,
please.
Hey, stay
please.
Here. Stay here.
Sir, I need some water. Can you get some water? Please.
Stay here. I'll get you some water here in a second. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Please.
Evil police. I'll get you some water.
Okay? Have a seat against the wall. Have a seat against the wall here.
Everybody got to see me, sir.
Have a seat
I don't want to
against
be
the
in
wall
black.
over here.
I want people to see me.
Sure. Okay, you can sit
Please.
right there then. If you want to be seen,
I don't
sit
want
right
to sit
there.
No, I don't want to sit right there.
Sit right there if you want to have somebody see you.
Please.
Okay?
Please.
Just sit down for me a second here, okay?
Please, look, sir.
Sit down for me. Sit down.
You're putting a thing on me.
Sit down.
Making
I'm
me
not
hot.
putting anything. Come here. Sit down over here.
Please.
I don't want you in the road. Come here. I don't want you in the
Trying
road.
to protect him.
Come here. Come here.
Your
Come
money
here.
just runs in the road?
Come here. Get down over there! Turn over on your stomach right now!
Okay.
Turn over on your stomach right now!
Third
Turn
time.
over!
Yes.
Turn over!
Yes, sir.
Over on your stomach! Get over on your stomach!
Hold on. Okay, please. Please, sir.
down.
Please don't do this. Please don't do this, sir. Please. Help me, please.
They're trying to help you. Oh, did you hear that? You're all
Keenan,
right.
relax.
They're trying to. Wow.
Keenan, relax!
Yo, we don't even gotta watch no more. You can stop right there. You can stop it right there. You can stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have the entirety of it. So was this a case of the evil LAPD going after a black man just to kill a black man, to George Floyd him? Is that what we just saw? Okay? Did we just not see that police officer ask the man more than 10 times to get up against the wall, roll over on your stomach, don't run away, where you going, what are you trying to do? Which one of those officers did something out of line? As far as I can tell, they did everything above board. I hope that there are no charges against any of the officers for their actions. I don't care what Patrisse Cullors has to say. I don't care what Black Lives Matter has to say. That idiot over on the Young Turds ought to be ashamed of himself for portraying this as if this is a case of some sort of police brutality. As if this officer did not try to de-escalate the situation. Hey, calm down, man. Sit down. Have a seat. Let's talk. Who's trying to hurt you? Who's trying to kill you? Talk to me. Stay right here. It's this genius's idea of going into the thing and running into the street and deciding not to resist police. So no, this ain't a case of police brutality. This ain't a case where people should start rioting and destroying cities over this. And I hope they don't. Okay, so look, we will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for Top of the Morning. Make sure you check us out every Monday night, 8 p.m. live for the Urban Conservative Podcast. Again, tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all on the 24th out in Pasquotank County with the Pasquotank Pack. You can visit the Urban Conservative to find out more if you're in Eastern North Carolina and you want to come through, see us live. For my twin brother, Raheem, Architect Soto, I'm Abdul Ali. You've been checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. Top of the morning. Have a good day, folks.
Can't hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Look.
Totm TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
Hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key as ever, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Blah.
What's up, everybody? Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the show. You're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. We hope everybody had a good rest and you're all refreshed and ready to rock for this Thursday. Joe Biden's still the worst president on the planet. You are checking us out on the Urban Conservative, tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. Support what we do here on the platform. Got to give a big thank you to all of our sponsors and underwriters. You too can become a sponsor or an underwriter here at the Urban Conservative by visiting us at tuconservative.com. Make sure you listen wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're on a platform that we're not on and you want us on there, let us know. We'll be happy to do that. Today is Thursday, so I'm feeling a little like a superhero. So today's mugshot, we're rocking with our handy dandy Marvel mug this morning. I'm doing a little French Express exclusive blend in the cup. So I just got sidetracked by the production staff who told me to stop doing something, so I'm going to stop doing that. But we got an interesting show for y'all today. There's some happenings about North Carolina and nationally that we're going to talk. And yo, just to piss off the production staff, I got to stop reading the production notes. All right, so here's what we got, folks. I just, we tend to want to put elected officials on a higher pedestal, right? We tend to think that once we put our trust into you as an elected official, that you're going to act with the utmost of moral standards. You're going to dot all your I's, cross all your T's, have your car insurance, your driver's license, all of your professional licenses, and all those things you're supposed to have in place if you're an elected official. And that's, I think, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, you tend to want your elected officials to do the right thing. Now, is that to say that elected officials are perfect? No. Mistakes happen, accidents happen, things happen. Okay. And we would be remiss. None of us are without sin. You know what the Bible says? He who's without sin cast the first stone. But today's first story involves this lady right here. All right. I'm not going to say who that is just yet. If you know who that is, jump in the comment section. Tell us who that is. But here's the thing about this lady. She is someone in whom the citizens of North Carolina put a whole lot of trust. Okay? A lot of trust. You would think that in a position to have the level of trust that this lady has from the people in North Carolina, that she would do things on the up and up. Now, if you don't know who that is the North Carolina State Auditor, Beth Wood. Democrat Beth Wood. Now, I've talked to some friends and they think she does a wonderful job as the state auditor. I to be honest with you, I'm not a gajillion percent. I know she keeps very close tabs on what the state treasurer does. They worked hand in hand and, all those kind of things. They keep their eyes on the purse strings, as it were. But it is now coming out that North Carolina State Auditor Beth Wood was charged with a hit and run in Wake County in December and will appear in court on January 26th. She did not return any requests for comments, but Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman confirmed that the charges include a Class 2 misdemeanor for a hit and run, leaving the scene, and property damage, along with an infraction for unsafe movement. And in a quote, the lady said, "I will confirm that, yes, it's a pending charge, and there was an investigation done surrounding that charge, and it will be handled the same way any of those sorts of charges typically are." So for a little context, the state auditor is an elected office. She examines and investigates all levels of state government to help improve the efficiency of government. So you would think with the, if that was me or you, and we left the scene of an accident, clearly causing damage, we'd be charged with a felony. We'd be charged with out the wazoo for leaving the scene of an accident. We'd be arrested for leaving the scene. All kind of things would occur. We wouldn't just get a slap on the wrist, maybe some community service, blah, 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 blah. We want to keep our eyes on this because I guarantee you, doesn't matter your skin color, doesn't matter anything else. If the average citizen here in North Carolina did the same thing that Beth Wood did, which was leave the scene of an accident, I promise you, we wouldn't be getting the same look. We just wouldn't. We'd be in jail. We'd probably be charged with felonies. Felony hit and run, felony leaving the scene. They'd attach an F however they can get it. So we're going to have to watch this and pay very close attention. We're going to have to keep our eyes on this because she should be treated like every other citizen would be treated after leaving the scene of an accident. Okay, after causing property damage, unsafe movement, whatever you want to call it. Homegirl left the scene of an accident. And I'm going to say this. I've never met this lady. I don't know the lady personally, but I'm going to tell you something. She's got the look of somebody that is entitled out the wazoo, that didn't feel like she had to stay at the scene. And she just gives me that vibe as I look at her face, like as somebody who just feels like they don't have to stick around. I'm the auditor of the state. What do you mean? I'll have my attorney deal with it. But the fact of the matter is, this happened back in December. She's got court January 26th. We want to see how this pans out. Do you think she's going to get a slap on the wrist? Will they actually do anything? Because this is a Class 2 misdemeanor. It's not like this is a major felony. This is something that I think the average citizen should be paying attention to, especially if you live up there in Wake County. Especially if you live up there in Wake County. Y'all should really be paying attention to this because this will be another example of the Democrats doing do as I say, not as I do, of the good old boy, homeboy, homegirl network taking care of one of their own. I bet you it's a Democrat sheriff in Wake County. I guarantee you the police and the DA that's going to prosecute this is a Democrat. I'll look it up. But we're going to keep our eye on this Beth Wood, again, North Carolina State Auditor, charged with misdemeanor, hit and run, leaving the scene of an accident, property damage, and unsafe movement. We'll keep our eye on it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning. Don't go nowhere.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Top of the Morning. You're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I'm your host, Abdul Ali. Thank you so much for being with us here. Make sure you jump over to tuconservative.com, get yourself a membership, grab up that Hamilton plan. It helps us keep doing what we do here and spreading conservatism to urban and suburban communities across the country. Got to give a big up to my brother Raheem, Architect Soto, working the boards. Make sure you check the TUC Twins over on YouTube, is our new YouTube channel, and live every Monday night at 8 p.m. for the Urban Conservative Podcast. And stay tuned. I know we are going to be bringing back another episode of With All Due Respect. That's going to be fun. Yeah, if y'all have never seen With All Due Respect, y'all got to woo. That's a great show. Now, on to the next story this morning, folks. Now, if your freckles are this close together as mine, you will probably appreciate that the American education system has not, by and large, been benefiting minority students as of late. The reduction in standards, the lowering of the standards, you look at the fact that 8th graders in some school districts here in North Carolina, 8th graders are not reading at grade level 75, 80% sometimes, and for minority students, okay? These kids can barely read. Now, we're going to blame COVID. A lot of people want to blame COVID. Oh, the COVID learning loss and the kids are behind because of COVID and the COVID. Well, listen, let me explain something to you. If they can't read in 8th grade, that means they couldn't read in 7th grade. They couldn't read in 6th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade. They couldn't read all along. And somebody has been passing these kids. So Congressman Byron Donalds has become critical of these equity policies. On Wednesday's broadcast of Fox News Channel's America Reports, Byron Donalds reacted to the investigation into Fairfax County, Virginia, and how merit scholarship notifications were handled by stating that equity policies will not help Black kids succeed and are actually harmful because people who have never had to compete in a merit system in school will be completely unprepared to go into the real world. Have to agree. And his quote, he said, doing this does not help Black kids because you've got people in these school districts. It's not just Fairfax County. It's been around in Fairfax, but stuff like this is going on all across America. And the whole purpose of this diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff is to somehow level the playing field for Black kids. Well, you're not going to help Black children succeed by holding everyone else down. You don't help them succeed by taking away the issues of merit and achievement. We are in a society that has been based on competition. Our economy is based on competition. Our athletes compete on fields every day. Our musicians compete, and our entertainers all compete. You can't take that away from young kids and think they're going to succeed. He also added, and I'm agreeing with everything he said so far, he also added, we should be rewarding merit. We should be showing our children success is earned and not given. And so you have that as a pathway forward. And like I said before, it's not going to help Black kids succeed because at the end of the day, when you go into the real world and you have to prove your worth, you have to prove your mettle, but you've never had to do it in school, you're not going to be ready for it in the real world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I agree wholeheartedly with every single thing that man just said. I totally agree because we're setting our kids up for failure when everybody gets a trophy. I saw one trophy they tried to give my daughter. It was the participation award. And I'm like, she comes home and she's like, Dad, look, I got this award. I'm like, yo, don't get excited about that. You're supposed to participate. I don't know why they're awarding you for things that you're supposed to do. And that's where we've come with the left in education in America. We're creating this class of young people who feel entitled because they were given awards and everybody's a winner. No, everybody's not a winner all the time at everything. I'm not going to ever play basketball like LeBron James. I'm never going to shoot pool like these world-class. I'm never going to bowl like world-class bowl. Now, I can put in some work. I can get better at it. But to suggest that the outcomes are going to be the same, that somehow we can create a system where Black children have equal outcomes to white children, is not going to happen. You can't control the fact that people are going to be born into different households with different parents who place different value levels on different things, who have different value systems in their households. But Congressman Donalds is exactly right. If we don't make these children compete, they are not going to be prepared to go out into the real world and do it in business and finance and in the world itself. I mean, God forbid, what are we teaching children that they're just supposed to, you're supposed to get something? Look, this is how, and I say this to folks all the time. This is how fair the world is, okay? This is how fair the world is. Just now, on the back of a yak, somewhere in the Himalayas, a kid was born. That kid ain't never eaten McDonald's. He ain't never playing PlayStation or Xbox. He might not even hear the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Life ain't fair. It just ain't that way. The playing field, we should be looking for equality of opportunity. I agree that we should have a level playing field and that everyone should have equal access to opportunity. But this idea that we're just going to make the playing field level and that all of a sudden everybody's going to have equal outcomes is detrimental. We can look at what happens with minority students who are put into these high-level colleges and drop out at unbelievable rates because they'd have done great at a state school. They'd have been done fine going to NC State. But no, we got to put, because they're black, we got to put them in this school. And we got to have a certain amount of black people, and these people drop out. I implore you to read some of Thomas Sowell's work, especially in relation into how black people are being basically, it's not doing us any favors. These quotas, these racial quotas, these equity programs, they're not producing the results we need them to produce. And therefore, our children are not able, it's Intellectuals and Race is the book. We're not able to produce because we're not putting our children into a position to be competitive and to compete in a real world scenario. We can't, it's like the old question, do you want a pilot as a pilot just because he's black? Or do you want a pilot because he's the best possible pilot? He knows how to fly the plane. He passed all the classes. Do you want a surgeon performing on your body just because, hey, Duke University Hospital, we just, this is Dr. Jenkins. He's a black guy. We had to hire him because he's black. No, he did okay on the heart exam thing. He did okay in medical school. He wasn't an award-winning, he didn't graduate the top 10% of his class, but he's black, so he'll be fine. How many people want that type of person or that type of merit-based system in our society? Not very many. And I think that what Byron Donalds is talking about is exactly right. We need to make our children compete instead of comparing. We need to make our children understand that life isn't easy. You're going to have to work for what you want. Nothing was given to my brother and I. We don't take, we don't get anything for free. We work for everything that we get. Now, the other thing is this. We talk about, and the left always talks about how black folk
can't hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low. Low key is over, you can't reach what you don't know. I'm moving different, running circles round them folk. They say your failures teach you everything and more. Look.